Swing it. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Bring it back. Let it
Let's
bang.
go, bring it in.
Hey. Shoot. Get it in.
That's all you.
Hey, who got ball?
I see him.
Shot. That's all you. Ball. Right here.
Hey, yo, right here.
What's up? Right on. You got me.
Ball coming.
Oh, knock that in. Snatch that, grab it. Grab that. Good luck. Come on.
Yeah, player.
The block, the block, the block.
Oh, come on, bust that, baby. There you go. Here we go. Take that, baby.
Back up, bro. Oh, get back on the
Go Montana!
Get it! Get it!
Oh, come on, bust that, baby.
Shark lock violation.
Lion's private brand is so good, you can't tell the difference between this and the pricier stuff.
But aren't those both Food Lion brand?
Why would I buy the pricier stuff just to prove a point?
That's smart shopping, people.
Mm-hmm.
As a catastrophic storm continues to make landfall.
In the wake of disaster,
Damage to the department vehicle that the officers were sitting in, including bullet holes in the front and rear windshields and the passenger side of the car recovered. During the gunfire, one detective was struck in the back.
Let me show you. See? One of the crash victims being sent attended by the first responders. She was on the plane. It almost looked like a tourist attraction. The crash unfolded near the Manhattan Ferry, Skyport Terminal on 23rd Street. Okay, so this is by Chelsea.
In Lower Manhattan earlier in the day. The injured officers were immediately transported to
What is up? Good afternoon. In the chest, and she's in critical condition. The other 7 victims are in stable condition. The age ranges for the adults is 21 to 37. Police recovered a pistol with an extended magazine, 10 shell casings at the scene. Suspect still at large. They did do a press conference a little bit ago, so we're going to take a look at the press conference. And there was a bunch of stuff. In San Antonio, Texas, 1 person was killed, 5 others wounded, including 2 children, when multiple people opened fire outside of a residence. The kids, the people don't have any kind of, I thought there used to be some kind of code, like leave kids out of it, no kids, family, or there is no code anymore if there ever was one. In Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, 7 people shot after a fight escalated at a public beach access area. Probably just better off staying home during the holidays. Dayton, Ohio, 4 people shot in Oregon Historic District after an altercation. There was one in Chino last night where something like blew up. We're going to cover that. I don't know if you guys saw too. I'm actually working on a short story of this girl. She was sitting in a car with her father, I believe, in a McDonald's parking lot, and I think the mother was inside getting food. I don't know if it was the employee or something that comes out. The McDonald's employee comes out, and I guess there's a person in the parking lot waiting for him, looking for him. All of a sudden, they start getting into a shootout, back and forth, and in the middle of this is like this vehicle where the child is 11-year-old sitting in a car. She gets shot in the head. These people are like a detriment to society. They should not be allowed to reintegrate into society after stuff like this happens, because so the little girl survived like a miracle. Little girl survived. Let's see if I have a screenshot here. Because I'm working on this story. That's after, they had to shave her head off. Let me show you this. Shave her hair off. They had a press conference yesterday, and she was just saying thank you to everybody. But she survived. Somehow she survived. You know what I'm saying? That could have been you. That could have been me. That could have been my kid, your kid. It's just like ridiculous. Ridiculous. And over what? Right? So, all right, let's start with the press conference that they had today. Mamdani's there,
as well as New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani. We're going to lift up the audio here and listen to this briefing.
On a police-involved shooting that resulted in 1 NYPD detective being shot in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. The information that I'm about to provide is quite preliminary, and it is subject to change. We do not have body-worn camera video of the actual shooting incident, presumably because it happened so quickly and unexpectedly, but a number of officers activated their cameras post-discharge. What we can say at this point is that at approximately 4:14 this morning, officers assigned to a mobile field force detail in the confines of the 7-7 precinct were parked in an unmarked police vehicle on the west side of Nostrand Avenue and St. John's Place when an individual approached their car. That same individual was captured on CCTV video 5 minutes prior and 1 block north with a firearm in his hand. Given the lack of body-worn camera in this incident, the circumstances of the approach are still unclear, but we can say that officers exited their vehicle and attempted to engage the armed individual. There is also ballistic damage to the department vehicle that the officers were sitting in, including bullet holes in the front and rear windshields and the passenger side of the car. 3 officers discharged their weapons. The subject was not struck. After a foot pursuit, the subject was apprehended a few blocks away from the incident location at Rogers Avenue and Union Street. During the apprehension, the subject resisted arrest and refused to be handcuffed. A taser was deployed and the subject was taken into custody. A SAR 9mm firearm was recovered. During the gunfire, one detective was struck in the back of his ballistic vest. X-rays show a contusion to the detective's back near where the bullet struck his vest. A second officer suffered a contusion to the face and the shoulder. The officers involved in this incident were there as part of our 4th of July violence reduction plan to address ongoing crew violence in the area. The officers had been reassigned there shortly before midnight from a SAIL 250 detail in Lower Manhattan earlier in the day. The injured officers were immediately transported to Kings County Hospital. The officer who was shot is Detective Robert Carroll of the Sex Offender Monitoring Unit. I have visited with Detective Carroll, and I am grateful to report that he is expected to make a full recovery. His ballistic vest performed exactly as it was designed, and today that vest saved his life. I want to thank the doctors and nurses and staff at Kings County Hospital for the excellent care that they are providing. The individual in custody is an 18-year-old male. We are not releasing his name at this time. Investigators are currently conducting an extensive camera canvass. Because many businesses were closed overnight, we expect to recover additional video in the coming hours. What happened this morning is another reminder that police officers never know what they will encounter when they begin a tour. Even what appears to be a routine patrol assignment can turn life-threatening in just an instant. I would be remiss not to mention the weight of today's date, July 5th. 9 years ago to the day, Detective Miasotis Familia was assassinated while sitting in a command post vehicle on an overnight tour. She was murdered without warning for one reason, and that was because she wore an NYPD uniform. Before I close, I also want to provide a brief update on a separate shooting that occurred last night in Coney Island. At approximately 10:35 p.m., officers from the 60th Precinct responded to a 911 call for a person shot near Surf Avenue and West 30th Street. When officers arrived, they found multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds in the front courtyard of 2930 West 30th Street. In total, 8 people were shot, 4 adults and 4 children, ages 6, 7, 12, and 14. The preliminary investigation indicates that a family barbecue was taking place in the courtyard when an unknown male, dressed in all black and wearing a black ski mask, approached the fence line along Surf Avenue and fired multiple rounds into the courtyard. The individual then fled on foot southbound on West 30th Street toward Surf Avenue. There is no indication at this time that there was any argument or altercation at the barbecue before the shooting occurred. Earlier this week, we had a confirmed gang-related homicide that occurred on the same block. We are looking into whether there is a nexus.
So what she's talking about, so first of all, if you're confused, because at the beginning of the press conference, They were talking about another incident that happened apparently early Sunday morning today at first. So they're saying around 4:14 a.m. on July 5th, officers from a mobile field force as part of the NYPD's July 4th violence reduction plan were sitting in an unmarked car, police car, and an 18-year-old male approached the vehicle minutes earlier, and he had been captured on CCTV 1 block away holding a firearm. Officers got out and tried to engage him. I guess he shot into the vehicle. It said bullet holes in the windshield and passenger side. 3 officers fired their weapon. The suspect was not hit. That's crazy. All 3 of them shot at him. They didn't hit the guy. He ran on foot, was caught a few blocks later. He resisted arrest and refused to be handcuffed, so they deployed a taser and they recovered the gun. Now she's talking about last night, the mass shooting where like 4 kids were shot and 4 adults were shot. A man dressed in all black in a ski mask approached the fence and fired multiple rounds with a Tech 9 style firearm. 1 woman was shot in the chest. She's in critical condition. Nobody's passed away, thankfully. There was no argument. There was some type of barbecue family private thing going on. The suspect is still at large. And then when she mentions Nexus, so apparently, I was reading this somewhere. Apparently, there was a recent situation where the same kind of thing happened. Here we go. Just a few days ago, around July 1st, a separate fatal shooting occurred in the same neighborhood where a 24-year-old man was shot in the face and chest near West 28th Street and Surf Avenue. That suspect was also described as wearing a mask and remains at large. So I think she's kind of wondering, are they trying to investigate, is this the same person that walked up and shot this place where their kids are at?
This week, we had a confirmed gang-related homicide that occurred on the same block. We are looking into whether there is a nexus between the 2 incidents. A Tech 9 style firearm equipped with an extended magazine was recovered on that scene, along with 10 discharged shell casings. 7 of the victims are currently listed as not likely to die. 1 victim, a 21-year-old woman, was shot in the chest and is listed in critical condition. This remains, of course, an active investigation, and detectives are working to identify and apprehend the person responsible. I will now turn things over to Mayor Mamdani.
Good morning, everyone. As you've heard earlier today, an NYPD officer was struck by gunfire. I am relieved that the officer, Detective Robert Carroll, was wearing a bulletproof vest and was not seriously injured as a result of it. Detective Carroll serves as part of a unit and is a husband and father of 3 children. The individual with a gun was tased, disarmed, and has been taken into custody.
How about the first shooting?
I want to take this moment to express my gratitude that this incident did not hold more grave consequences, and to Detective Carroll and to every officer who has been safeguarding our city over what has been a busy holiday weekend. Detective Carroll and so many others had been working 12-hour shifts since yesterday afternoon, protecting New Yorkers on the 4th of July as we held complex events like Sail 250 alongside our typical annual celebrations. I am thankful for the NYPD's devotion to our city and the sacrifices so many officers make on a regular basis. It is also not lost on me today that, as the commissioner said, we are marking 9 years since Detective Familia was targeted and murdered in a similar fashion. I know there are countless NYPD officers and New Yorkers mourning Detective Familia today, for whom this morning's news is a reminder of the risk that NYPD officers assume each and every day, and how we must still work to lift the scourge of violence from our city. I also want to take a moment to speak on the other violence that we saw this weekend. Last night in Brooklyn, 8 people were shot at a family barbecue, including 4 children. All 4 children are expected to survive. Heartbreakingly, 1 adult who was shot last night remains in critical condition. There is no place for this kind of violence in our city. We will not tolerate it, and
When he said that, because I had listened to this portion, somebody posted the clip, I think on X, and he goes, "There's no place for this." There is place. That's exactly. It's thriving. It's alive. They get away. Soft on crime. They get out. This is the place for violence. Listen, it's not tolerated. It's tolerated.
For this kind of violence in our city. We will not tolerate it, and we will fight it with every single tool at our disposal. As we mourn alongside those whose loved ones have been hurt, let us also recommit ourselves to the work of building a city where every celebration is safe and every holiday is joyful. I also want to echo the words of appreciation for the doctors, the nurses, the staff at Kings County Hospital for the care that they have provided to Detective not only today, but the care they've also provided to officers on the other occasions that we have been here for similar reasons. Thank you so much, and I will now pass it over to the president of the Detectives Endowment Association, Scott Monroe.
Thank you. This has to stop. 3 weeks ago, we had a detective shot in the same hospital. We were in the same hospital. This has to stop. Our members are out there day and night, hours and hours, protecting the people of the city of New York, doing a job that they took an oath to take. And they need to be respected. And thank God this detective is going home. And like I said last time, we're not planning a funeral today, thank God. 9 years ago, we were, though. We need this to stop. We got to respect policing in New York City. You have to respect us.
They don't.
And they have to prosecute this individual. He should not see the light of day. You don't walk up to a police car with a firearm with 4 police officers that worked hours and hours all week long, prior weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they continue to do the job. This has to stop. Thank you.
We're going to take some on-topic questions. We're going to go to Christy Flush.
Okay, and was there another officer who was shot, or is it only this?
One officer was shot, and then
On to W.
Yeah, why these guys have been running from somewhere? Do you
No.
approach that car specifically?
as I mentioned, everything that I just briefed is preliminary and is subject to change. And what makes this briefing different from similar ones that we've unfortunately had to do in recent weeks and months is that this incident was not captured on body-worn camera. So we are in the midst of a massive camera canvas going around to local businesses to pull footage so that we can get a better sense of exactly what happened, particularly during his approach to the vehicle that the officers were in. But we can say that we recovered a gun on him.
A follow-up question to that. You had mentioned not too long ago, a week or two ago, about how crime shootings typically had historic lows in the first half of the year. Just wanted to get your reactions with the mass shooting in Coney Island that was catched.
Yeah, you got to separate out two things, the data and then the actual human side of the incident. The data in New York City this year in terms of gun violence is historic. It is record-breaking. But
in a bad way,
clearly,
bad way,
the police department has more work to do. We all have more work to do when we see 4 children shot in one incident celebrating the July 4th holiday.
And Joe Marino, New York Post.
Commissioner, you took 5 shooting incidents last night, this being obviously one of them. Were these within the zone or outside the violence reduction zone? And we're deploying.
Pouring outside, man. Pouring. Holy crap, out of nowhere. So let me just show you too what the place looked like. I saw one video. There wasn't many pictures or videos of like the actual scene of where the shooting took place. But I did see the New York Post had some scenes that they showed. And just show you here. Hopefully the connection doesn't act up. Right there a little bit. I don't know too. This is the area where the people lived, or like this looks like a building. Maybe this is where the barbecue was being had on the outside, you know. it's just bad. It's just bad and sad. You know, family. I don't know if they're family, friends, just trying to enjoy. You know, enjoy Independence Day, and you can't even do that. Not even respected. Crazy.
Started locally last night. Now, they had already in advance deployed additional NYPD officers because it is the 4th of July. There's concerns about fireworks. There's extra FDNY fire department personnel on tap in case there's any accidents with fireworks that people are trying to do on their own, which is never recommended. And so what happened last night, about 10:30 last night, in Coney Island, there was a barbecue that was going on. A typical thing that happens in New York City, all across the country, in Coney Island, in this courtyard of this apartment building, apartment complex area. And then just a masked gunman, according to NYPD Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, who gave us a briefing this morning. A masked gunman. Now, keep in mind, we were kind of on the tail end of a big heat wave yesterday, going to in last night. This man is dressed all in black. She said that the gunman had a face mask on and just goes into this barbecue and just randomly starts shooting at people. There were 4 adults that were hit. One.
Yeah, I wonder if it was like, was it targeted at somebody in specific, or was it just some psycho? I would assume, I would think it's personal, but I don't know.
The adults, a woman, a 21-year-old woman.
Gainesville?
She's in very critical condition. There were 4 children who were hit, ranging in age from 6 to 6. One was 6, one was 7, one was 12, one was 14 years old. And it's just the stunning type of violence that people just can't understand. Like, how does this happen? Somebody just barges into this barbecue and opens fire. So we're still waiting. That suspect is still at large. They have not captured that suspect.
That's crazy with as many cameras as they have, and I wonder if they have those shot spotters out there in Coney Island. I don't know. When a shot goes off, the machine detects it, alerts police. How this person was able to shoot that mass shooting 8 people and just skip away.
I'm sure that they will eventually. So there's no word on any type of motive yet or what could possibly have triggered this off, but it definitely wasn't random because of the location. They went in there, they knew who was going to be in there, and then they started shooting like that. But just a terrible way to end the 4th of July, and especially, on this 4th of July, and on a day that many, many families everywhere celebrate, and, with the kids. The kids can stay up late, barbecue, music's playing, and have a wonderful time, and they were until about 10:30 last night, Stephanie.
Yeah, and I know, Lisa, you just mentioned that the suspect is still at large. Have police mentioned anything about public safety in terms of whether the public should be on guard, whether there is no concern for the larger public safety?
I don't think at this point we don't really know that yet. We're still waiting for more information, which we're expecting from them this afternoon. The other thing of note, though, it was less than a month ago that the Brooklyn District Attorney, there was a very, very big gang takedown right in the Coney Island area. And sometimes after those, there's retaliatory shootings. It's not clear if this had anything to do with that at all, but that's obviously a question that I have in my mind, simply because of the fact that this wasn't at a public park. This wasn't in
Once you said retaliatory, maybe?
And sometimes after those, there's retaliation right in the Coney Island area. The Brooklyn District Attorney, there was a very, very big gang takedown right in the Coney Island area. And sometimes after those, there's retaliatory shootings. It's not clear if this had anything to do with that at all.
That's crazy, man. And these people just don't care. And then you got to think about those kids that grow up with violence, being shot, gunshots, shots flying every day.
There was some
How do you
particular motive for that particular location yet. And, we're going to be awaiting more information, but a terrible way to end.
YPD officer was shot amid the July 4th holiday as well.
Cops getting shot, too.
Yes, and this was another just really tragic thing. Also in Brooklyn, in a different neighborhood in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. And these officers were sitting in an unmarked car. They were part of a detail that was sent out to certain hot spots throughout the city, and this one in particular in Brooklyn and in Crown Heights. They were sitting in the car when they observed what they say was an 18-year-old individual. Here's the gun that they found on the suspect. This individual, they saw the gun. The officers exited. One of them, a detective, they exited the vehicle. They tried to engage, according to Police Commissioner Tish's words, they tried to engage the individual in a conversation. And then he's 18 years old, the suspect. He started firing at them. One officer was hit in the back. Thankfully, it was where his bulletproof vest was. Another had what they're calling contusions to the face. And the officers fired multiple shots at the suspect. He was not hit apparently at all. They ended up tasing him, but not before he had shot up the police car that they were, or the unmarked car, I should say, that they were in. He shot up the windshield, shot up the rear view, the rear window of that, but he was taken into custody. So we're waiting for a lot more details about that case as well, of what was involved in it and who this 18-year-old individual is. But, to find that kind of gun, excuse me, to find that kind of gun, what is he doing out? It was about just after 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't know, man. These kids, it's something else. These kids, teenagers. Oh, here's a short clip too. Cops make desperate dash after Coney Island shooting. And a lot happened last night. This is another situation that I'm curious about. In Chino, something happened in Chino. Firework explosion, kids injured, everybody injured.
New details in a massive fireworks explosion in Chino. 3 people have been sent to the hospital and a child was hurt.
Eyewitness News reporter Monica De Anda joins us live in Chino with the latest on what seems to be a very active scene still here this morning. Good morning, Monica.
Caroline.
Tim, Abigail, good morning. Yeah, 4 people were injured in this fireworks explosion, including a child. That's according to Chino police. And you can see here behind me, the investigation still very much active. Right in the middle of the street there, you see all of the debris from that explosion, and police still out here since yesterday, scouring the scene, trying to piece together exactly what happened. Eyewitnesses on scene told us last night that they saw investigators combing through the neighborhood in hopes of finding body parts. Chino police has not confirmed that information for us or the condition of those injured. But we want you to take a look at this, the moment people took off running after that explosion. Watch.
Wow.
You can hear the fear in their voices there. We're told this all started around 8:30 last night when a large group of people were gathered on D Street for a fireworks display. When those fireworks lit up, the explosion happened. Chino police says when they showed up, they found a car on fire on that street and several people injured, including some with serious injuries. Take a look. This video from Air 7, it shows you the aftermath. Debris left scattered all over the front yard and the street there. An eyewitness told us he was inside his mom's house when he heard the loud explosion and went running to see what happened.
Clearly looked like there was a bunch of illegal fireworks in the trunk. I don't know how the trunk got lit up, but obviously you could see from the video that the trunk hatch was busted open, and that was where the point of the explosion was. We're always concerned about that. You always hear about it in the news, but nothing is close to home or nothing that severe. It was crazy. No one. My kids are shooken right now when I said that you want to touch some fireworks.
Chino police detectives believe a large quantity of fireworks ignited, causing the explosion that ultimately severely injured 3 people and a child and set a nearby car on fire. Now, as we come back out here live, you can see there are still detectives out here on the scene, again, working this area, trying to piece together what happened, and then to hopefully answer some questions as to how this explosion happened, how many people were hurt, and what the condition of those 4 people are, including that young child. And I can tell you, even now, about 15 minutes ago, we heard fireworks right here in this area. So people really have to be careful, because this is one example of how things can go seriously wrong and injure so many people. Reporting live in Chino this morning, Monica.
Chino, California. Boom. There's a shooting in Fort Lauderdale too. This is last night.
We know officers originally got here just after a face right next to this parking garage here off Southwest 2nd Street near 1st Avenue. Let's go ahead and show you what it looked like out here when officers were still on scene. We know the initial calls came in just after 4 o'clock this morning. Again, officers here confirming to us that this was a shooting overnight No word yet on any suspects or who exactly was behind this. All of this happening next to that parking garage that I mentioned, which is here in the downtown entertainment district, an area that, of course, is packed with bars and nightclubs.
Yeah, I don't go out here no more. I used to back in the day, downtown Fort Lauderdale. There's like strips with like a bunch of clubs and stuff. There's one by the beach too, but and there's like these parking garages and everybody's drunk and lit.
And as you know, many of them were very full last night for the July 4th holiday. Detectives spending hours on scene investigating and collecting evidence. They even blocked off the road here for a few hours. We did not see any evidence markers on the ground when they were out here, but we did see them spending a lot of time next to some elevators here that are part of this parking garage. Again, the details as to what exactly led up to this shooting, not.
Oh, Bonnie, thank you for tagging me in this. I didn't know they had video. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you guys this video here. Okay. Oh, that's crazy. The shooting that we talked about. I want to put that up again. Crazy, man. Crazy, crazy. Okay, so this shooting here, this is the shooting that happened in New York, where this person around 4 in the morning walks up to a mobile force detail on July 4th, an unmarked car with 4 police officers, I believe, inside, and started shooting. He hit one of the officers. He starts running. The officers get out, and I guess they engage him. All 3 shot at him. None of them hit him. And eventually they caught him on a couple blocks down the way. They were resisted arrest, refused to be handcuffed, and they deployed taser. So that's video. Video captures gunman flashing weapon before police shooting. Wow. 4th of July. There was actually a lot of craziness too last night. I wish I would have caught this. In California, there's a place called Newport Beach. The thing that immediately got me to jump, I was like, oh, shit. You know, I love the horses. The horses, man, don't F with horses when it comes to these violent outbreaks or whatever these people are doing. Don't F with the horses. These things will run you over. They'll trample your ass. 4th of July descended into mayhem across Southern California as unruly crowds overwhelmed packed out firework displays, looted. That's another thing I heard too. They were looting stores last night. I should have never had that Willie's remedy. That shit put me out. Ignited fires and saw cops charge on horseback. The worst unrest erupted in Newport Beach, where Independence Day revelers poured into the Orange County, choking traffic and triggering police response and a police response to a disorder spread. Okay. Authorities ultimately shut down businesses from the Newport Pier, and just chaos. There's video of it too. The horses. Oh, it's summer, man. All these kids with nothing to do. Yeah. Oh, they got somebody too. Oh, it's a lady. Yeah. Don't mess with those horses, man. Oh, that's so cool. Let me zoom it in. Hold on a second. This chick over here, she's like running. No, please don't catch me. No, please, no, senor. Look at this. We got a Pay attention right here. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit. Look at this. She's running. You're not gonna. These horses don't play. Look at this shit right here. No. Boom. Lucky you didn't get run over or trampled. Scattering, running. Damn. 4th of July. This is terrible on X. Yeah. Yo, look at the mob, yo. If they wanted to, they could take those cops out. They could restrain them and put them down and tie them up.
Why you hiding?
I would not want to be among that crowd. It's just too crowded for me. Wow. Officers were swarmed by hundreds of people who hurled bottles and other debris at them before the crowd turned on one another. They even turned on each other and began fighting. I don't want to be anywhere near this kind of shit. Mounted officers rode horses into them to clear the area so additional arrests could be made. The aftermath of reported looting. Look at this shit. What the hell? And this is Chino. The car explodes. All these fireworks in there. Pavilions on the Newport Beach Peninsula was ran through and trashed.
This is really sad, guys. They completely.
All these Arizona people.
I just want to let you guys know that all of these out of town people that are not from California completely destroyed this place. So thanks, guys. From all the people that are from out of town, you guys destroyed Newport. So good job.
Yeah, hold on.
Really good job, guys.
Yeah.
It's just trash. Just common courtesy of like taking something you're eating or drinking and putting it in the trash can. Not even that. The trash can's knocked over.
Wow. Look at this. Look at this. Trash cans are knocked over. There's glass on the floor, chat.
Wow.
Look at this. Bro, the watermelons have exploded on the ground. This is horrific.
They looted this, bro.
These are people from out of town that decided to destroy this local community.
Wow, dude. Cole, thank you for the 21 months. Says, don't call us out like that. Melly Z, thank you for the 40 months. I got your plant in my backyard. It's grown. It's like huge. I don't know if you saw that. Thank you. Says, can we all just get along? All the love to you, Mel. And of course, the chat. Thank you so much. 828 Caroline, thank you for the 3 years. Says, I wish y'all peace, love, and soul in this chat. You too, Mel. Thank you. And Black Lake, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the 5. Says, being run over by a horse can be just as deadly as being run over by a cop car. Is that policy to be able to do that? I don't know if it's policy, but I've seen it happen multiple times, and I love it. I love it. I cheer on the horses. I love it. July 4th, Americans celebrate the 250th birthday of this great nation. July 5th, California business owners call their insurance companies to cover all the riot and looting damages. This is by Kevin Dalton. Ogden, his name. Dalton. Wow. I'll put the music on the. Oh, they're fighting and stuff. Fireworks, explosions, gotta turn out, gotta turn up. Look at the place is trashed. Chipotle trash, trash cans trashed. Even the trash is getting trashed. Damn. Gotta turn up. It's the rage youth, the rage. Newport riot and looting. Look at this. Where's the cops? No cops? Or they run over? Like, there's too many people having a field day out there. so that was the California thing. Crazy, crazy. Back. Oh yeah, the plane crashed this morning into the New York East River, I believe. But everybody, I believe, is fine. It stayed afloat. It looks like one of those planes that could just land on water. That happened today. Oh, and this huge ass fire too. I want to know more about this. Massive warehouse fire erupts in Parkersburg, West Virginia. And Eric here was saying, anyone keeping track of how many of these warehouses have burned down recently? It's like everybody's cashing in on this shit. All these companies now, they're all lighting up, and the whole warehouses, all of them are turning on fire. I guess they got no fire detectors, no fire alarms, no sprinkler systems. The Jewel Monkey, thank you for the 4 years, 51 months. Happy 4th to baby girl, love beans. Oh, okay. I hope you guys are doing good. Also, check out Ocean City MD craziness. What happened in Ocean City? So this large warehouse fire happened today. Oh, okay, it was posted today. This guy too, I don't know what's up with this. Just a kind of a crazy story. I was scrolling and I saw this dude apparently gouged his eyes out. Gouged his own eyes out. Was sentenced to life in prison for Bullock County murder. A deranged Georgia man who claimed he is a divine being gouged his own eyes out as being part of his tongue. It bit off part of his tongue in an attempt to be placed in a medical facility. Damn. So he did everything he could to try to be placed maybe in an asylum, mental health. Wow. But he's been found guilty of killing a man during a carjacking. I'm a divine being, Robert Brandon Keller said in the courtroom. I'm here by special presentation and appearance of the entity known as Robert Brandon Lewis Keller. He continued. Look at this shit. Is there a video for this? I want to see this. I would like the ability to be trusted to tell the truth, but this is not the setting I trust to do so. Keller told jailers that he wounded himself because he wanted to cover his ass and be placed in a medical prison. You see, people are willing to do all kinds of shit to escape responsibility and accountability. Some of these people gouge their own fucking eyes out. Isn't that crazy? In October 2024, Bruce William Dupree, 43, stopped on the side of the interstate, Bullock County, Georgia, presumably to help out Keller, who was hitchhiking, and gave him a ride. You see, look at this shit. Keller was under the influence of drugs and attacked Dupree, slashing his throat while he dragged Dupree's body into a grassy center median of I-16 and leaving him to die. Isn't that crazy? Being nice, courteous, trying to help a fellow out, you know? And that's the payment that you get. That's why some people don't stop anymore. Because a lot of the times, too, I see these people sometimes, maybe their car broken down. Sometimes I'm thinking, like, is this a setup or something, you know? It's sad you have to think like that. This guy pulled over to help, stopped on the side of the road to help out a hitchhiker. Wow. This guy was found guilty on all 10 counts, including murder, aggravated assault, hijacking a motor vehicle, and possession of a firearm. Another crazy story real quick. So this guy, apparently his wife was convicted of SA with underage hockey players that she met in a hotel hot tub. And so they were, I think, on a staycation. And they're saying that this guy, the husband, apparently chose to stay with his wife despite her sick crimes. What's that? Loyalty? Is that loyalty? Until death do us part, maybe? Minnesota husband of a woman convicted of SA of two 15-year-old hockey players she met in a hotel hot tub during a family staycation. And she's bold and shout out for doing that. While out with their family. Allison Chardon's husband, Anthony, revealed that they're still married and trying to fly under the radar after she landed on the sex offender registry list for having, sex with two teens. When asked by the outlet if the couple was still together, he said, "Yes, I love her, always and forever." She dodged prison and was sentenced in January 2025 to 2 weekends in jail. What the hell? That's it? Community service and 5 years of probation. Wow. Prosecutor said the mother of 2 was staying at a Roseville hotel with her husband and kids. And the kids. Kids were there. January 14, 2024, when she met 2 teen athletes who were traveling from Colorado with their team and struck up a conversation in the hot tub. While soaking, with the two boys, she opened up about her marital issues with Anthony and later exchanged contact information with the victims after her husband was yelling down to her, "If you don't come upstairs, our relationship is over." So he knew she was in there with those boys, I guess. I mean, I don't know if he knew their age, but. And so later she sent a Snapchat saying if she could come to the room because she got into a fight with her husband. She told the boys they were old enough to be her kids, but then pressured them into sex acts while a third boy watched. That's just kind of weird. Why are you watching? Just hanging out watching this shit, I guess? I don't know. You already have a 38-year-old woman, a female in your bed. Don't you want more? The sex fiend. Yo, the way New York Post writes articles, you already have a 38-year-old, a female in your bed. Don't you want more? The sex fiend said. According to one of the victims who police...
FastMed is open evenings and weekends. Save your spot.